Item: SCP-981. Object Class: Safe. Possible Euclid. Awaiting further testing. Special Containment Procedures. Having shown no signs of its influence spreading further than the recorded distance, as long as SCP-981-2 remains within SCP-981-1, it is required only to be stored in a standard artifact room in a locked copper box of at least 1 cm thickness. Access to the SCP is by application for Level 3 and above only. If SCP-981-2 is to be removed from its canister, it must be in a room at least 4 meters x 4 meters containing no physical media of any kind, and care must be taken during transport to ensure rooms adjacent, above and below are also cleared. Any memory sticks carried by Foundation personnel should also be removed before entering the room as a precaution. Any media found to contain evidence of potentially Keter-class SCPs must be quarantined at once. Description: SCP-981 comprises of 2 parts. SCP-981-1 is a steel film canister dating from the late 1920s, with signs of damage concomitant with its apparent age. It is labeled in Spanish as having been copied by the Buenos Aires Cinematographic Laboratories, with the handwritten title 236, Metropolis. Other writing on the label is too worn to read, but appears to be a name and a short note in a different handwriting. Inside the canister is SCP-981-2, a reel spoiled with Kodak panchromatic nitrate film, on which is a 16mm reduction negative of the 1927 Fritz Lang film Metropolis. The film and the canister it was found in show no unusual markings or indications that they are anything other than a mass-produced stock for distribution to cinemas in the late 1920s. When both components of SCP-981 are placed in proximity to another audiovisual storage medium containing a feature film, the data held on the secondary medium shows alterations not in accordance with any previously known form of the film. Qualitative testing showed that any time spent within 1.93 meters of the canister is required for effects to show on the test media. When the film is removed from the canister, neither component produces the anomaly. Tests on abstract or animated films featuring no live-action actors has proved to have no effect. The canister was seized from the museum by 2 agents of the Foundation posing as officers of GSG-9. Stating that the film's contents were evidence. It was secured in its current site and carefully examined by comparing it to the 2010 Restoration Edition. The film's ending featured an extra scene, approximately 40 seconds long, which was cut between the robot Maria being burned at the stake and the final cathedral scene. It features Frulich's character Freda walking through an alleyway and finding the end walled off with a white wooden door. He experiences some surprise at the exit being blocked, but opens the door and walks through. Then follows a text plate reading, "My lord, I'm near the cathedral." And the film then continues as normal. The door shows similar properties to SCP-249. Both elements of the SCP were discovered on by a Foundation employee at the Deutsche Kinemathek Film Museum in Berlin during an unofficial visit following a meeting with the museum's owners regarding the purchase of storage equipment. During a conversation with a curator regarding storage techniques, it became apparent that the print was found in close proximity to the original site of the incident. The curator described it having been found on a shelf in a basement of a building previously used as a youth hostel, resting on top of a copy of the 1931 film The Bad Sister. This had not been retained by the museum as it was believed to be a modern hoax, as Bette Davis' character was seen in the final reel of the film to violently assault the character played by Sidney Fox at Niffer Point.